Welcome back to part two of the Charleston Money Spirit stories. So, another treasure was said to be given to four men. At the same time, on the same night, the spirit told the four men of a vault that contained all the wealth of a family who was killed in one of America's first wars. The men met because they knew each other and they knew that the treasure was going to be split amongst the four of them. So, they discussed their plans in detail. The men knew that this treasure was going to make them wealthy, and their children wealthy, and their children's children's wealthy. When the time came, the men completed the ritual as expected. Absolutely no speaking outside of the praying or the hymnals were to be spoken. When they finally reached the large pot, they were smart enough to build platforms to rest the pot for it so that they could drag it with them. Three of the men seemed to have been very strong and healthy, except for the fourth, who was always lagging behind the rest during the entire process. The other men were constantly urging him to come on, but he became very exhausted even at the simple thought of trying to continue digging. In total, it took the men 3 nights to complete this task. When the pot was about 5 feet from the surface, one of them said to the other one who couldn't keep up with the rest of them, "Pull your end with your weak self." In an instant, the elements became black, the wind started to howl, and out of nowhere, the earth turned to turmoil. Because if you remember, you weren't supposed to speak. The thunder roared and the lightning flashed uncontrollably. Down, down, down went the pot with all its wealth. All except the one who could not keep up was buried under the earth. He was knocked unconscious for several minutes. When he came to, he didn't see any of his companions, and he knew that they didn't escape falling into the earth along with the treasure. So the man began to dig and dig and dig. He dug about 4 feet down when he found one of the men trying to push his way to the top. The two dug until they reached the third, and then they started digging for the fourth. They found the fourth man, recovered him, although he was barely breathing. They decided they would try one more time for the treasure, but it was completely gone. After they'd gotten over the shock, they realized that they weren't going to be wealthy, and each man died as poor as they always were.